Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 14, Diamondbacks versus Phillies Game 1. Starting off with the lineup, Gabriel Marino is playing catcher, I meant to say, sorry. And then Nolan Arenado is there at third base. The only thing I don't really remember if he was in yesterday. Who knows? And then Jose Fernandez playing DH, Tim Tawa at left field, Alec Thomas at center field, and Jorge Barosa at right field. And so the only thing I know, Corbin Carroll is still injured, but I've heard enough of he will play tomorrow game. And so that's a positive. And then James McCain actually came in for Gabriel Marino for catcher, and stuff because Marino also kind of tweaked his back and stuff. So that's another thing and stuff. The crazy biggest thing about this lineup and stuff, and also another thing I want to say, that's why I always say, is the lineup just looks the same than before and stuff. But anyways, moving forward, sorry, I had like a schedule every time I talk about of what's the difference and stuff. The starting of when we were batting, pretty much everybody was 0 for 1 for pretty much everybody. And so Marte actually started with a walk and stuff, and everybody got out and stuff. And then fortunately for him, coming in this the next inning and at his second bat, he went 0 for 1 as well, and then everybody the same and stuff. But fortunately enough, the batting came alive in the fifth inning and stuff. So fortunately, that actually really happened and stuff. I would definitely say I think that's the most biggest thing. Enough of if bats are come alive and stuff, and we can get people on base and get some runs and stuff and take the lead more often and actually win with the lead and stuff. I think that's a more positive thing we gotta do and stuff. So that's the biggest thing. I know Nolan Arenado went 0 for 4 and stuff. That's not really a good sign, but pretty much everybody besides of Marino, because he went out with 0 for 1. Pretty much of that. Oh, Tim Tawa went 0 for 3. But nothing than that. Everybody pretty much got a base hit or probably got walked or anything and stuff and got some runs. So I just like to see more of the lineup to literally get more base hits than going for 0 for something, how many bats they go and stuff. So that's a more a positive, more of the offense is showing their skills on their offense and stuff. And then pitching wise, Michael Soroka did really bad in the beginning and stuff, and then he kind of capitalized on a good note at the end and stuff. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 4 runs and stuff. So he did pretty good at the end. So I think he really focused more on and stuff, because he pretty much gave up 4 runs in the first and stuff, and then not giving up other runs and stuff, and pretty much went crazy on a 10 strikeout 6th inning and stuff. So his 2 he come in his first and his third time coming up with 10 strikeouts. So that's pretty big. Not very many pitchers can do that and stuff, and he has done that for us, for the Diamondbacks and stuff. And then Jesus Lazardo did pretty good, but again, it's like the opposite. Where enough of, Soroka did bad in the beginning, and then he capitalized of him going at the end of with a good note, where Lazardo actually did good in the beginning, and then at the end, it kind of exploded and stuff a little bit at the end and stuff. So the Diamondbacks got a little on him at the very end of his time frame and stuff when he was pitching and stuff. So he went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 8. Still pretty good, striking out 8, and then walked 3, gave up 5 runs and stuff. And then the bullpen for the Diamondbacks, Jonathan Laskia, I don't know how to say his name. His last name is I'm just gonna do my best saying it. Laskia. I'm gonna talk to my dad about this because I just don't know how to say it correctly and stuff. It's a weird because like there's an A into it and stuff. It's just like Laskia. It's weird. So he pitched in and stuff, and then Juan Morello and Paul Sewald for the save. So pretty good for the bullpen, and also Soroka to basically just didn't get a lot of the Phillies to get a lot of runs at the end. So fortunately enough of having them to just score in the first inning and stuff, and then not getting them more runs later on and stuff, it's huge. So I would definitely say the bullpen is positive in a way. They're not giving any runs. Then the scoring and stuff, again, I didn't really say a lot of the scoring so much. I just want to say the biggest and stuff. So fortunately enough, it started with the Phillies did get a couple runs in the beginning and stuff, but the biggest one they got was Brandon Marsh hit a 3 home run to make 4-0 in the bottom of the first and stuff, and that's the only run the Phillies gave up. So that's huge. And this is where Diamondbacks offense went off on Lazardo and stuff. Kendall Marte with a 2 RBI single to make it 2-4 on top of the 5th. Vargas hit a RBI single to make it 3-4 on top of the 5th. And the person came in to catch for Gabe Moreno was James McCain with a 2 RBI double to make it 5-4 top of the 5th with 5 runs, and that is the main score for this game to 5-4. Our record is 8-6, and they have a winning streak right now with 3 wins, and so I've loved to see it and stuff. And I would definitely say the offense on we're going to talk about progress for the Diamondbacks. I didn't like to see enough of they went down in the beginning and stuff, and then in the 5th inning kind of they went crazy and disrupt the Phillies defense and stuff, and we did good defense as well. I think Barossa did amazing catch, or maybe it was Alec Thomas. It was one of them, anything and stuff. It was crazy what they can do on defense. But again, I do like to see, the offense going off and scoring a lot and stuff. But I don't know. Like, it's just so weird. Like, you don't want to expect so much for them to of it. Like, I want them to do the best they can, get the most they can, and stuff. If this is the way the game is gonna go, and we still get the win, some ways enough, I gotta just say I'll take it, But, I thinking what my expective of this team, like, I want to have this team to be the best and stuff. Like, I want this team to win the World Series and stuff. So for me to basically expect the offense to do a lot more than today and stuff, like, pretty much everybody only got one hit and stuff. There's nobody got 2 hits or 3 hits or anything. It's just that 5th inning. Basically, we got 5 runs, and that's pretty much it. And stuff, like, good for Asorka, not giving any runs before Brandon Marsh home run and stuff. And then after that, the Phillies got 2 more hits, and that's pretty much it for the Phillies. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I want to expect more of the best, more of them and stuff. So I just gotta take it granted enough of just get the win and just expect for them to do good and stuff. Yeah, the batting was looking great and stuff, but I want more and stuff. And maybe that could be enough of they can't do more, or this is good enough for them and stuff. So not really expecting enough if everybody should get a base hit and stuff. I'm not really expecting that. That would be the best, but I'm not expecting that and stuff. It would be awesome if they do that, but there's no way enough if everybody gets one hit every at bat and stuff, Some ways enough. Like, there could be possibility that could happen, but some ways enough if somebody is gonna get no hits and not do so well and stuff. So I wouldn't say too much on the progress and stuff. They look good, so I don't want to mess anything up and stuff to say anything more positive. I think if my more positive just goes a little off in a little way enough of like what are you talking about? Like, I want my Diamondbacks to be the best, and if you want to progress more like this, we want to see more. That's just what it is and stuff. Like, I don't know what to say, because in a way enough, yes, we won, and that possibility enough, there are probably other teams can win more runs than this and probably win more games over us and stuff. So, you cannot expect enough of we have more runs and we can win and stuff. Yes, but we want to get more runs so we don't let them to come back and win the game or be much closer of a game and stuff. So that's just another biggest thing enough of, we did good, but we want to also more progress with that more often and stuff. And I wouldn't say anything negative to bullpen and stuff. If they can do this, our offense can do this, and our bullpen can do this, we're solid and stuff, and especially enough for a good Phillies team and stuff. Again, like, these are tough teams we're facing and stuff, and we're getting really good wins and stuff. I'm a big Phillies fan and stuff. Not crazy so much and stuff. It's just I like Bryce Harper. Like, he's like my boy over there and stuff. So, I like him to do good and stuff. But if you're against my team, you're going down. It's just what it is. So good for the Diamondbacks. Snake alive, man. And the MVP for this game is the guy took over for catcher. It's so weird enough of back-to-back catchers winning the MVP the first time and stuff, they're doing their job, you know, they're taking over. So fortunately for them, just like, man, like Gabe Moreno getting 2 doubles and stuff, and then James McCain just comes in and get a double to take the lead. Like, that's huge and stuff. Like, I was just thinking, like, who's the MVP and stuff. You know, I was thinking about, like, you know, I was thinking about giving to Michael Soroka, because he did good, you know, at the end and stuff, but he gave up 4 runs in the first. So I just don't know and stuff. You know, the rest of, you know, did the scoring, basically got singles and stuff. And James McCain did a lot better, so he got 2 RBIs and stuff. You know, Kendall Marte only got 2 RBIs single, but James McCain got 2 RBIs double. So which one is better? And so I'm leaning on James McCain. He is my MVP today, in my opinion. And so good crowds for him. And so again, Snakes alive and putting, you know, they're working. They're cooking right now with 3 wins in a row. Let's keep our win streak, you know, to keep going and stuff. And stuff. And then tomorrow it's very early, like 10 o'clock and stuff. So I got to get ready for that and stuff. So good win for us. Good start against the Phillies and stuff. So yeah, Snake Life, man. It's crazy enough of how they're doing, and we just got to see more progressive with them and stuff. Speaking progressive, they're sponsored by, I wouldn't say anything about sponsors and stuff. I just know the Diamondbacks are sponsored to progressive and stuff, and anything like that and stuff. So yeah, so hopefully I see you guys tomorrow for another game. So hopefully you guys like this video and stuff. Hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.